All right, guys, thank you for joining us over here at Fire and Dice. This is round 4 of our Legacy tournament. We've got Noah Walters versus Jesus Castaneda on stream at the moment.
Nice.
We've got Is It Delver versus Grixis Control. Josh, any hot takes?
No hot takes.
No hot takes whatsoever.
Zero hot takes. Was thinking a lot about Adelise because he was talking about Is It Delver, but that's not in this deck.
That is not. No, Adelise is not in this deck. Actually, isn't it when the
Dersenderwind.
when the Delver flips? Is it the wizard on the other side?
It's not.
Not right. It's just an insect.
Yes.
Yes. So less good.
But on the front side.
On the front side, it is a wizard. That's
Wizard.
true. Yeah, but actually, Is It Delver is like the current like trending
the hot
meta
deck.
deck, I guess. Yeah, at the moment, Is It Delver getting some upgrades from not upgrades necessarily, but it does get a couple cards out of like Ravnica Allegiance that people have been trying out. So, namely, there was Terramander, and then there's also Light Up the Stage.
You mean Peter Mander?
I'm sorry, Peter Mander.
Yeah.
Peter Mander guy. Yeah. Which is is interesting. Like I don't think that. Well, I think Peter Mander is like on a high enough power level, sure. But Light Up the Stage just seems so wonky in a deck with counter spells. So
Funnily, neither of those cards are in this deck.
yeah, funnily enough, exactly. I was going to say that is neither of those cards are in the Is It Delver deck, but it is a little bit more refined, I guess, than you would say a Grixis Delver or like even a Teamer Delver. It just has really straightforward game plan. It doesn't try to like get too fancy. It doesn't even play Stifle. Plays zero Price of Progress because it's actually playing its own Wastelands. So, yeah, no, it's an interesting take on the Delver deck because it's just burn and creatures. And
Yeah.
oh wow,
Weirdly enough, it's not even like that much burn though. It's like
yeah, it's not. It's really not that much.
4
burn.
bolts, 3 chain lightning, 2 fork bolt.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like I know I've seen decks like this where there's like significantly more burn, right? There's
Yes.
Fire blasts even.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, really, I think the big draw to playing like this type of deck versus any of the other like Delver variants is honestly Price of Progress, and yeah, this deck completely eschews it.
Good brainstorm from Noah. Finds his second land and a daze.
And a daze, sure.
So we'll want to put some of these cards back. Looks like he's aiming for those brainstorms. No, don't put 3 back.
Don't do that.
That's a bad idea.
That'd be weird. Be no bueno. In fact,
Putting 2 brainstorms back feels real bad though.
I mean, yeah,
that's a card I wouldn't cast.
That's true. I don't disagree with that necessarily.
So I think he put back one of the bolts and is what is happening right now?
What happened?
All right. Well, he put the brainstorm from his hand into his graveyard and not the one from in play that was already cast. So just a weird weird thing.
Little weird.
Oh, nice island.
NBD.
So fetches up a volcanic, and I think he's got a couple more cantrips available and a pyromancer in hand, so we'll probably see another cantrip here.
Yeah.
Oh, a lavamancer. Yeah, that seems good.
Lava Man's fine too.
Fine choice.
Yeah,
that is
definitely.
a one of in the deck.
You don't even really want to like point removal at this card necessarily. So there's a daze. Interesting that I guess there's 1 mana up available for Jesus. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
probably
wonder-
not a good idea to daze.
that. I wonder what the take is. You're probably Pyromancer. It's just like you just don't want to have Noah go wide and you have no answer to it. Jesus does have access to 1 Deluge. I believe it's in the main.
Yeah, Pyromancer seems like a fine take here.
Oh, actually,
I mean,
the Deluge is in the sideboard. Okay.
it's the only real threat there.
Yeah, sure.
From the cards that you have in your hand.
Mhm.
That Ponder gets fired off here.
Yeah, definitely. And so Jesus is going to have to play around
Seems like a
both Spell Pierce
fine
and
top.
Daze in the upcoming turns, but I think he's going to be fine because this Gurmag Angler ignores both. So
Sure. Yeah, and so we got a Ponder there with a pretty fine top with a him and a couple other action cards.
Yep.
Him is going to be pretty big game here, taking away multiple spells here.
yeah, definitely. I mean, it could potentially eat both a counter spell and then 2 more spells depending on Jesus's lineup, but I haven't seen his hand quite recently, so
I like that top from Noah. Like Wasteland is pretty good here.
I agree. Yeah, getting that Badlands out of the way is pretty important. I've always kind of been the champion of like I think Badlands is like the best land in the deck, to be honest. Like
Wow.
it does so many good things for you.
But it's so bad.
I think that's an urban myth. I think just because it is called bad, just because you are bad guy, does not make you bad guy,
Sure.
right? And I think that's kind of what we're seeing here. because I honestly think that it's the best land in the deck. It's bad land is best land.
Well, we'll probably see him get another one here if he has an access to it.
Yeah, I mean most lists play 2, and I'm going to confirm that he plays 2. Yeah,
A swamp.
he gets a swamp instead.
Interesting.
I think getting your basics is fine here, but I wonder actually if he has Blood Moon. Yeah, he does have Blood Moon in the sideboard. I was gonna ask because some of these decks actually play the One of Mountain. He is also on the One of Mountain, and I think that can be correct because the big thing is that you never want to get wasted off of your red source when you could potentially be keep up Pyroblast. Do you know what I mean? Like that's one of the ways that the deck can fall behind, especially in the sideboard games. Some decks also even play it in the main, but it's less common, of course.
Sure. Just interesting as that takes him off of red mana, at least for now.
Yeah, I mean, it also takes him, like you were saying, it takes him off the Hymn to Torok, which is extremely powerful in this matchup.
Well, he unfortunately didn't have any way to get that going this particular turn. The
Yeah.
Wasteland took him off that.
Yep.
And he drew an island, so he wasn't going to be able to cast that this particular turn.
Sure, and the big thing also is like in the upcoming turns, he's not going to have access to a Liliana of the Veil, or Liliana of the Last Hope, for example. He will still have access to Jace, which is good. Oh, okay, so we're gonna do this the hard way. It looks like.
Is Jesus going to force this? It looks like he's going for it.
Seems okay.
He wants
so
to keep his
that's
threat.
Spell Pierce. So we're gonna get a Spell Pierce here. Oh, which means he will
Well,
not.
Spell Pierce.
Yeah, we
doesn't
won't
do
get an
anything.
activation. Yeah, that's true.
He would
So-
have Noah would have needed to have another land here.
Sure. So Jesus very quickly on basically no land. Oh, no cards in hand now. And
yeah,
I
just
guess
the him.
I guess the Strix was like a worthy sacrifice because it was just gonna die to the Lava Man anyway. So it's okay. But again, like now he's on 0 cards. I think the last card was a him, right?
Yeah.
So,
He's on just him,
Yeah.
unknown top of the deck, but he does have a 5/5 in play, and that's pretty good.
yeah, it's pretty good against Delver. Absolutely. I mean, having to play from behind, Noah's gonna need to string together threats and also some burn. So as you were mentioning earlier, that it's shorter, it's a little lighter on burn than usual. We already have 1 lightning bolt in the bin, so we have 7 more spells to kind of reduce Jesus' life total from 18 to 0, and with no threats on board, that could be a tall ask.
Yeah, and the Gurmag is going to be hard to answer as well from Noah's
Ooh,
side.
a land is great.
That's pretty good.
A land is big game here. I mean, this could be Spell Pierce Days, but I don't think Noah is even going to bother. Yeah, we're just going to lose 2 cards here. We're just going to keep one of them. So yeah, we'll get rid of those 2. It's probably the two counter spells. Is that Brainstorm?
He lost the Brainstorm, yeah.
Losing a Brainstorm hurts, but I think Noah could be far worse off. Actually, the Spell Pierce might be dead at this point.
Yeah, well, he could have Spell Pierce Days there and basically spent 2 cards to counter it and maintained the Brainstorm.
But it's the same thing as getting himmed.
It's not, though, because you get to keep Brainstorm.
Yeah, right. That's true.
I think that might be, well, Spell Pierce,
Well,
sure.
Spell Pierce is gone anyway. So now Noah's going to go ahead and...
Just start lava manning the face.
Exactly. Exile these two dumb dudes, and then it's kind of interesting. Anyway,
Well, he's doing the old exile the cards that Deathrite can hit.
sure. All right, cool. So, yeah, I think Noah is not in a great position. Obviously, he's now on a 2-turn clock if this Gurmag just gets in for free, but you know he's got a threat. So if he hits a cantrip off of this Delver, that'd be really good for him.
Yeah. Do you leave the Delver back if it flips here?
No, I think you just leave the Lava Man back.
Well, Delver.
Vapor
wow,
Snag
that's a good one.
is big game. Oh, jeez.
Well, now you definitely don't leave it back.
Yeah, now you're getting in that A. All right, so
You'll see an upkeep Vapor Snag here.
for sure. I mean that's just tight play. I like it.
Oh, I guess that was not upkeep, but
Oh, it wasn't upkeep?
it's irrelevant.
I suppose that's true too.
With Jesus having no cards, as long as you do it before his draw step, that's all that really matters.
There you go. All right, so Jesus has got Gurmag Angler, and now he's down to 10. So the clock has kind of switched up a little bit, and
Yeah.
the Lava Man's actually going to be a big deal here because it's going to put Jesus to 8, and then it's going to be able to block, and which doubles Jesus' clock, right?
Well, I mean, this just puts Noah ahead on the clock. Being able to keep the Gurmag off of the board for a turn means that Noah has Jesus dead next turn, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Well, removal spell is kind of a thing as well. Well, I think this is interesting as well, but I don't think you could stand to lose both creatures. Yeah, see, that's
this
the thing.
is super awful.
Well, that's the only card I think that would really put Noah dead there. I think like a fatal push is fine because yeah he'll just hit the he ends up just hitting the okay, well, it doesn't matter. He ends up just hitting like the Delver, but then you get to keep a Lava Man around, and that's a reasonable clock, and it can block once. So
Right, but I mean, as far as I mean, if the life totals were correct,
Mhm.
then Noah just had lethal on his turn.
on his next turn, yeah,
So I'm not sure why you would block there.
true, true. But
Uh,
again, one removal spell does mean that you don't get that. That turn actually turns into several, right? So
sure.
like,
Well,
but this
so
but
if,
this
if-
particular attack for sure punishes him, or this particular spell punishes him the most.
yeah, but going to 5 into like a potential removal spell is not the worst thing. Like it's
Mhm.
unlikely that Jesus. Well, Jesus didn't even have red mana, so like
That's
Bolt-
that's true.
Bolt isn't
Yeah,
even an option.
that's true. That's true.
Um,
So like there's only really like two removal spells. It's like push plus.
Well, not even
Edict.
not even removal spells. I'm just saying like going to 5 is not the worst thing that can happen to you because like
Mhm.
Jesus has to have an answer to one of your creatures,
That's true.
and he has to have it right then before you untap, or Jesus is just gonna die to the swing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so that was game one. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. We've got a couple viewers in the chat. Please say hello. That'd be great. It's Noah Walters on
chat.
Izzet Delver versus Jesus Castaneda on Grixis Control. This is Chris and Josh in the booth at Fire and Dice. Heading into game two, what do you think Noah's going to want to bring in here for Jesus?
Well, it looks like he has access to Pyroblasts and Blood Moons, kind of like we talked about earlier.
Mhm.
That's probably about it.
I love Vortex, man. I got to be honest with you.
Sure.
Vortex
I
is
mean,
sweet.
adds inevitability.
Yeah.
But I guess that is for this match the sort of control
Yeah,
going long
it's
match.
for the grindy matches for sure. It's just it's like an Eidolon that's like more difficult for Jesus to deal with.
Mhm.
It is. I guess it's not the original Eidolon, but it's similar. Pyrostatic Pillar, the original Eidolon. And then Jesus on his side, he's got access to like 2 Flusterstorm, 2 Blood Moon, his own Pyroblast, and a red Elemental Blast, a Deluge, which I think is for sure coming in, another Edict, maybe Marsh Casualties, Ensnaring Bridge, and a Spell Bomb. And so like I
Marsh
like.
Casualty seems good.
Yeah, Marsh Casualty seems great. I like that. It's good versus pretty much everything in the deck minus
A Flip Delver
A
is
Flip
the only
Delver. That's
thing.
pretty much it, right? And even then, you can always kick it.
Kick it.
Given if your opponent has counterspell mana or whatever
Yeah.
available.
And I
But-
think he just wants that in general as well because
Yep.
the Izzet deck has True Names.
Yeah, exactly. So hitting True Name and then every single young Pyromancer or token is very very relevant. So, 2 mana to kind of sweep the board is great. I think that other than that, even the Pyroblasts are like just okay. Although on the draw, I might want them a little bit more because answering a True Name on the draw is really important. On the play, it's a little bit easier because like again, like you can untap with Marsh Casualties or Edict or whatever. But Pyroblast is definitely better insurance on the draw. Deluge I think is also reasonable. But yeah, I think basically removal, and that's pretty much all I would want here. I don't think he needs to dilute with like Blood Moons. I actually think Flusterstorm is better than Force of Will, so I'd like those. But that's
Well,
pretty much it.
Definitely, both players should not be bringing in Blood Moon because then
Yes.
one of them is wrong.
One of them is wrong. Yeah, definitely. So Noah here on a fine keep. It looks like 1 lander, but probably no, it's a 2-lander.
Yeah, I think it was a 2-lander.
Yeah, two lander, but mix of threats, answers, and card draw. So
Seemed decent.
everything he wants. Jesus going down to 6 here. I didn't see his opener, but Jesus not one shy to mulligan. He's fairly aggressive.
In mulligans and in life.
And in life, yeah, as Jesus is.
That looks like a good one.
Yeah.
Some Strixes coming down.
Yeah, for sure. So
Excellent island
Delver,
choice, by the way.
Delver, yeah, I know. So actually, someone commented, I really like Noah's Rob Alexander Arena 2003 Basic Islands. So rooting for him. Very, I think that's incredibly relevant. So yeah,
Is that not a Mirage Island? Maybe it's the Mirage art.
it is the Mirage art, but they use it for the arena lands.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah,
Good choice.
definitely. I think Rob Alexander deserves a lot of props.
Yeah,
He's
it's a good
drawn
one.
some of the greatest lands in all of Magic. He's up there with John Avon. So he drew most of the duels. He's drawn most of the fetches. Actually, he drew all the original fetches, right? And then Shocklands. Like he's got quite a
some
panorama.
chops.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a panorama. A band panorama.
Yeah. Maybe he drew that too. I don't know.
It's
possible.
I don't think so.
I don't either.
Um, Yeah, it's definitely a different style, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Rob Alexander draws a more
Spell Snare.
sort of I guess artistic fantasy sort of landscape,
Mm-hmm.
and John Avon's drawing a more like photorealistic sort of landscape,
Yeah, and
as we can see here on the
as
board.
we can see right now, yeah, on the right. So like the thing about John Avon in particular is he's a wide view, right? Like he's like from afar,
Sure.
one subject kind of deal. Whereas Rob Alexander is, like I was saying, a little bit more panoramic. Like he likes like the full a full scope kind of deal. Now we've got both Delvers flipping. So this is like the ideal start for Noah. He had counterspell, your first relevant spell into
Yeah,
into
two
flip
flip
Delvers. Yeah, and then with a chain lightning behind this, he's gonna close this out really quickly.
Quite the clock.
Yeah, this is I mean, and this is the thing about Delver, is that it's just like if it gets to operate at like peak efficiency, there's very few decks that can kind of like match it. Do you know what I mean? Like I think
Yeah,
Th-
Jesus would need sort of multiple 1 mana interaction spells on
Sure.
his turn to sort of catch back up.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think so here in Noah's hand, he doesn't have another counter spell. So I mean, we could see like a deluge here, but it would be such a blowout if it didn't resolve.
Here. Yeah.
So this
Well, Jesus has Strix into Bolt, which is it's okay.
Yeah.
The Strix is not going to get to block here.
because we got chain lightning on Noah's side. We also have a Snapcaster Mage, so is that relevant here per se?
Oh well, he drew a Pyromancer, so we'll probably see Pyromancer into Chain Lightning.
I like it. I think that's reasonable. And Jesus, he can't. There's no reason for him to respond at this particular juncture, but I think once the Pyromancer hits the stack, he's gonna want to respond. Because then it could be anything from like Dazes to Spell Pierce on top of removal.
Additional value.
Yeah.
On top of that.
There's like definitely wants to initiate. Oh, are we gonna get a? Oh, okay, fair enough. Maybe Noah not interested in opening himself up. So we got a bolt here. Snap is not gonna do it. Maybe there's a reason to brainstorm. Although
well, if he has more Spell Pierces, which he does.
yeah, I mean he has access to all four.
He does not find any.
He does not find any, but he finds a wasteland, which is going to be good this upcoming turn. But this Delver will fall. Actually, now the more I'm looking at it, actually the more I would prefer if there was a Pyromancer in play, because then you can afford to lose this Delver and not have to like brainstorm to scramble and find an answer to a lightning bolt. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
I think that's like a slight mismanagement.
I agree. I think the Pyromancer in play was probably where you wanted to be.
Mhm.
I mean,
Oh, is this wasteland getting played now?
Yeah,
Wow,
he
okay.
still has have a land drop.
Oh, yikes. Okay, so now, I mean, Jesus gets to untap with 3 mana. He has a Pyroblast for the Delver. I don't mind Pyroblast there, sure. But, I mean, you are going to fall to a true name soon. If that... Oh, well, we know it's not at the top, right? So it's probably fine. Also, I guess he's going to tap it anyway. Ooh, a Casualties.
Casualties.
I mean, that's going to mop up the tokens, right, from the young Pyro, but not just yet. That's all.
It's possible that Jesus wants to do that this turn and just clear Noah's board.
Oh,
I found
okay.
a Fatal Push
Sure,
as well.
sure.
That's a fine one.
Mono removal is acceptable here. We take those. So then, if this Volk gets wasted, which we're probably going to see that, it's likely that Jesus goes for a bad land soon. Because
the best land.
The best land, yeah. It's going to unlock everything except for Jace, but he'd need a 4th land for that regardless, right? Although Underground Sea is probably fine. Because then you would have access regardless of what land you drew for a Jace, and then you have Liliana starting next turn. All right, so we're going to get a Ponder here, I believe. Yep. Noah just like literally tossing that card. It's like, I don't want this.
Nope,
This is
don't want
garbo.
any of those.
Don't want any of those. He hasn't hit his land drop. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he can hit his land drop, but he doesn't want 3 lands on top of his deck.
Sure. I was thinking. I mean,
The Wasteland doesn't do anything here.
yeah,
either.
exactly. I was thinking the wasteland might be relevant, but it's literally not relevant. So I mean, he does have a Snapcaster Mage on board, which is also new for like most Delver decks can't afford to run Snapcaster Mage. It's because it's not always tempo positive for them. But the Is a Delver deck can, because its mana is very, very good, and then also like because it's running less like burn spells, like it actually wants access to that kind of effect.
Sure. Just rebuy your burn to finish him off. Rebuy a draw spell, as we saw here, to try and dig some more.
Sure. So
It's a lot of stuff.
I was wrong on all counts. Volcanic Island is the is the fetch.
Looks like he wants access to his double blue.
Sure. I just think that like he has the marsh casualties in hand.
Oh, he has
doesn't
another fetch land as well.
Oh,
So
okay, sure.
seems okay.
I think Badlands is probably. Oh,
Hey, Liliana.
that's my lady.
Oh, and Jace. Wow, what a ponder.
but he has to fetch now. So one of them.
You don't have to do anything. You can just
that's true.
draw those cards.
Yeah, what's the problem here? Just draw those cards, man. And so he's just going to take a quick gander at the bin. What am I dealing with here? How much has he played? So we saw a Spell Pierce and a Spell Snare.
Probably want to put that land back into play, bro.
Wait, what? Why the swamp?
He put the.
Where's the swamp?
He picked it up and then put it face down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
It's really yeah. So there's a Strix there too.
Yeah. So
Man, this Ponder is so good.
yeah, you just Strix, Lily, Jace here, and just fetch. Worry about fetching next turn.
Actually, I think it would have to be a different. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
you draw the Strix
yeah.
this
You
turn.
draw this.
I guess the order of Lily, Jace doesn't really matter, because you're not casting them this turn, regardless.
Sure. And I mean, there's no reason for there to be, like, yeah, like he doesn't have to play around like his like an opposing Jace more than likely, right? Like that's the only reason. That's the only thing I could think of. But there's no reason to do that. So, like, you can't suspect that Noah has a Jace the Mind Sculptor in his deck, and then he's gonna like look at your top card and then bottom.
Oh, face heal you.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. Like that's very super corner case. I do not expect that out of the Delver deck. And obviously we know that he doesn't, but I don't think it should be on Jesus's radar either.
Either way, I think I'd want the Liliana first.
Yes,
just
agreed.
because it's going to start answering, answers the threat on board. Basically kills every card that Noah can cast besides True Name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know what's going to happen here specifically. While the players are kind of like discussing their whatever happened, and which is in my mind is not a big deal, but there was some kind of weird shuffle of the cards. Like it to Noah's eyes, it could be misconstrued, and I understand that. So he's just trying to play it safe. But given kind of like where we're at right now, I mean, I did not see Jesus pulling away from this particular game, given Noah's start. Like Noah's start was exceptional.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I was talking about, multiple 1-mana interaction spells, sort of gets him into the game here, and that's what he found.
Yeah.
He had the blast, the fatal push, just a bunch of stuff to sort of knock all of Noah's threats down.
Sure. Yeah.
And I mean, Jesus still has the marsh casualties available to answer, potential True Name down the road.
Yep.
He's just answer the board.
Well insulated. I agree. I think so. Here Noah's looking at a decent ponder. He takes the bolt. I actually don't mind the wasteland here, but I guess you only get access to one of those, right? So you have to pick your poison. But like, yeah, I don't mind the wasteland here. Like Jesus just topped 3 cards Baleful Strix.
Yeah.
And he's not gonna and he didn't fetch, so that means he wants the top card. Oh,
really?
not interested in Jace, huh? Maybe still playing around Daze. That's also fine. He can't get swamp.
Don't get us. Yeah, you can't get that one.
Yeah, he's gonna need to fix it. We're sending a judge to the table now. Oh Jesus.
Well, can't stop him from drawing.
Yeah, can't stop him, but it's.
Let's hope he has an additional black source in his deck. Bring the judge back over.
Yeah, look at it. He's like, oh, jeez.
We're watching you.
Yeah, everything is everything's he's playing a little nervous. It feels like, even though he's in a really good spot. So,
well, this is potentially locking him into top 8, right? If
that's
he wins
true.
this
If he wins
match,
round 4 here,
he can most likely double draw into top 8.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at the standings in particular, but you at home can look at the standings because they're posted They're posted on the actual Cardboard Live.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can see it on the extension. Yeah.
Depending on how they rewind this could really bone Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, he's got an additional card in hand. He fetched, yeah, like I don't know, like he there's. So the thing is, there are no cards known, right? Because he fetched away at the his upkeep.
Well, no cards known to both players.
Yes, so that's like a distinction that could ease this a little bit. But again, this is kind of like two in a row now for Jesus, right? Like he's gonna need to tighten up a little bit.
Well, I mean, they should certainly be throwing some warnings around.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So here is. So yeah, I guess and Noah can't know that this Liliana was in Jesus's hand, right? But I guess when you upkeep fetch a swamp, it's like sort of obvious. But I wouldn't.
It's by no means like
a given.
Doesn't need to be obvious.
It's not a given, right? Yeah, exactly.
Like Noah can sort of play to his outs here of like I don't know what the hell he had in his hand.
Yeah, no,
like,
absolutely. I think maybe the judge is trying to reach us right now.
And
no?
he did an upkeep fetch, which is like specifically, could be gives him any card, right? Like it's now no longer known that he has that on top of his deck. Like, so the judge will have to sort of pause and see what the ruling is here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I believe like we're just waiting for that to happen. So, I mean, but given that, let's just say everything kind of resolves the way it should.
And we got Punt City over here.
How do you feel about Jesus's position if this Liliana sticks?
It's pretty good.
I agree.
I think I would have liked keeping the Jace on top.
I would have. Yeah. I'm in the same boat. I think given that you're low on resources, the Jace is such a powerful enabler there, right? Like you can forego one turn of this of. Actually, no, you probably still slam Liliana.
No, you still slam Liliana,
Yeah.
but having Jace in your hand is fine.
Yeah.
Like,
is that fine? I'm not sure.
You just cast it the next turn.
Yeah.
You answer whatever threats with your Liliana, and then you tag team Jason there.
Hell yeah, tag team that guy. Or that lady. I don't know. Wait a second.
Tag teaming Noah, I think.
Oh, right. Tag teaming Noah. What is best in life? All right, so so is this has not been resolved, it looks like.
Yeah, we still got some gesticulating on the off camera.
Sure.
So, I mean, this is like it's kind of multiple errors. Like it's
It
like
is. Yeah, it's
game
not
rule violation.
it's definitely not clean.
for both players because they didn't catch the fetch, and then maybe drawing an extra. Or it's not like,
but it's not seeing an extra card.
It's not seeing extra cards, but it's like
close. It's like that's like the only. So is Jesus just gonna?
I don't know. We'll have to figure out.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
The resolution there.
That is very weird. Yeah.
Maybe Noah's just scooping.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe they're going to a game 3. Looks like they might be going to a game 3.
Well, that's unfortunate for Jesus because he was pretty much
he
dominating that.
He was very much going to win that particular game.
So, if the fix there is to execute a game loss,
that seems.
I don't think I agree. But if it's because if the judge rules that it's like the same violation that had just happened like previously, so he can upgrade. And I don't think that's like necessarily fair, but if that's what the judge says, that's what the judge says. You know, it is kind of is what it is. But again, I'm not 100% sure.
Well, maybe we can
get some confirmation. Sure. Let me work on that. Get to the production crew. See what they say.
Because like a game loss there seems
severe.
Yeah, I mean, because you could certainly like.
I mean, there's also the fact that like maybe Jesus just scoops. Like that's not. I wouldn't put it past Jesus to do something like that. Wait, what are these cards set aside and then he's shuffling? I'm confused.
That's his last pile.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, he conceded that game.
Why? I mean, what was the judge resolution? I mean, was it like, were they...
So the judge says there's just no way to fix this board state, and then Jesus, in his magnanimous whatever, he's conceded. He's like, I feel bad. That's my fault. I shouldn't have done that. And so he just conceded.
What?
Yeah, Jeremy was just gonna leave it as it was. So he was gonna. So our judge is named Jeremy, by the way. He was just gonna leave the board stay as it is. Like, there's no way to fix this. Like, we've drawn a card, a spell is on the stack, yada yada. And for my money, I think that's just like that's fine. Like, to leave it as is and just issue another warning to Jesus. But Jesus, like, because he wants to be a good guy here, he's like, yeah, I fucked up. I should not have done that. He's like, I'm just gonna concede, which, we may not agree with because kind of that's the nature of competition. You should just take what you get. But Jesus is not like that.
All right.
I mean, I don't know. Like, even in that spot, I'd feel bad. I don't know what I would do. I'm not in that spot. So
I mean, I wouldn't feel bad. I mean,
would you not make that mistake? Let's start with that.
first of all,
Yeah,
I would never be in this position.
First things first.
where a mistake would have happened.
Yeah.
Second of all, I mean, like, that you have the Lily on top of your deck. You put it there.
Well, no, he drew it off of the Strix, right? And then he would have drawn Jace.
Oh, sorry, it was
Yeah.
in his hand.
Yes. Yeah, no, I see. I agree with you completely. There's no way to like prove that to Noah, and then Noah's like, I don't know, on edge by like what's been kind of happening. But like, I don't know.
And the only edge is like maybe it's like if he just drew that after he fetched, nothing has changed.
Yep.
Because like he just would have fetched a different land, and like if you're gonna argue like, oh, it's random, he could have got a different random card. Like, that's stupid.
Yeah, exactly. It's
random.
Yeah.
But, we all know here that it was in his hands. Like,
Mhm.
unfortunately, we can't really like.
Would you call that a shame land? I don't think I call that a shame land.
No, I don't think so. I mean, he would have preferred to shuffle one of those lands away. I
Agreed.
think.
Yeah. Especially because every single card besides this, every single card was a non-basic, and against an opponent with Wasteland, you probably don't want to be liable to to that. Although Noah does have access to True Day Nemesis, as we know, and he probably doesn't want to Wasteland when he's on the cusp of that, like in case he just like randomly draws it or something like that. So I think there's just a low chance that you would get Wastelanded here, so it's probably fine. I played it the way Jesus played it. I mean, sorry.
Sure.
Yeah. There is already a Wasteland in Noah's. Let's see if he fires it off. I don't suspect that will be the case.
Well, he's got Pyromancer and he has a True Name in hand.
I think he's probably more interested in the True Name, to be honest. I think and that's what I was saying. Like, I think Wastelanding is a wasted opportunity, actually, because you could just resolve a really strong spell in the matchup. Instead, Noah gonna play it a little bit slower, which I think plays into Jesus' hands a little bit, but we'll see. So here's here's a in-step Brainstorm, and Jesus gonna find some answers here. He finds a Snapcaster Mage.
Does not find any answers. He has a Kolaghan's Command in hand, so he can go with that.
Is that a Pyroblast in Noah's? So we have
he's got
Brainstorm,
a-
Pyro, True Name. What else? Oh,
No,
that's
he's
a
got
chain.
Chain Lightning.
I'm sorry. That is a chain. So now Jesus has access to double basic. So let's get the right one. Oh, I actually haven't even cleared their life totals. Okay, so this is Jesus' first fetch line. Okay, and it's Noah's first fetch line as well. All right.
All right, we've got a Scalding Tarn. We're gonna fetch a thing. Bloodstained Mire, fetch a thing.
Yeah, Bloodstained Mire fetch thing. That's fine. Let's go.
Let's get an island.
Yeah.
Went with the matchup. Oh, I guess he sacked a Scalding Tarn the first one. Should have got a Volk with that. So, K Command gonna nug this Pyromancer and have Noah discard a card. Definitely playing into a daze a little bit there, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
agree.
think he had another option.
I was gonna say, I think well, first off, the daze is gonna ruin your day regardless, because it's
Yeah.
gonna get a token on top. But what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah,
So,
and I guess the way Noah kind of like was already ready to move the Pyromancer off the table kind of indicated that
sure.
he didn't have it.
Yeah, I'll name you Jesus, is what Noah's saying here.
Protection from Jesus.
Wow, that's quite
Strong.
That's quite potent. Yeah,
Strong.
that's very, very strong. In fact, another Brainstorm for Jesus is going to let him get another chance at answering this True Name. I don't know if he brought in.
wow.
Oh, well, there it is. And he has a Jace to follow up, so I think
Jesus's cantrips have been pretty fire.
they've been pretty gas. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very, very impressed by how lucky he's gotten.
If only he had fetched the right cards.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like, So as I just said, like was completely turned the game around first. He was losing hardcore
Yeah.
back to a winning position, which is incredible versus Delver. Like he just drew literally all the right cards at the right time, and then had the follow ups. Because it's easy to draw removal, and then because that's the way you set up your ponders or your brainstorms. But then to not draw anything after that because you had to find those, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like easy to do, but it's not easy to like have the removal and then have like the insane bombs,
Yeah.
right? Like, and that's what he had, and because he made some critical play errors, he wasn't able to kind of deploy on that level.
That's not a great brainstorm.
That is not see. So on the other side, Noah is reaping less of the benefit of Jesus' conceit here because now he has to play another match from which he's behind, another game. I'm sorry. Which I mean, Jesus feels great about it. Look, like his posture just says everything, doesn't it? So, we're gonna get in with this Gurmag Angler, and it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Jesus' second fetch, right? Yeah.
See if Jesus can hold it together this time.
I think when you're just crashing in with Zombie Fish, it's probably enough.
Interesting that he didn't leave Jace on top.
Well, it seems like he's not as interested in Jace in this matchup, period, but I think that's wildly insane.
Well, I mean, he had. I mean, it is like potentially tapping 4 mana into a
counterspell
a
of any
Daze
kind,
or a
yeah.
Pyroblast
Sure.
or whatever. But at the same time, he doesn't have a ton to do at the moment. I think he has like a Snapcaster in hand, and I'm not sure what the other card is.
Fork Bolt, sure.
Forked Bolt, this dude. Lightning Bolt,
Lightning Bolt, this dude, sure.
The old Bolt.
Well, I mean, Snapcaster buys this back because there's a K command in the bin. I want to say. Here comes Jace.
That's
it
gonna
gets
get
answered, right?
Pyroblasted.
All right, it's the last card out of Noah's hand, however. So I think we are still in decent spot.
Yeah, I think.
But Noah could top deck a True Nemesis here. Oh, I guess that's also answerable. But
Yeah.
but even so, like I think that the top decks could go both ways, and here in particular,
Oh, interesting.
does he not have a Snapcaster Mage?
He does. He went for a Brainstorm instead of the just Snap K command.
Sure. Snap K command, the last card, return a Gurmag Angler seems fine to me. But the thing is, so I mean, you might be able to identify with this. Like Snapcaster Mage is a tricky Magic card.
Sure.
Like
heard that.
first off, he needs 5 mana here to do the K command, right? And
Yeah.
so like again, it falls prey to a Daze, which is something
Sure.
he's not interested in like really playing into, given the fact that he is fairly far ahead, given he has 3 cards versus 1. And the Brainstorm is super safe because it could find a threat regardless. And if it does, then he's able to deploy that and then save the Snapcaster Mage a little bit later. Because, the longer a game goes, the better Snapcaster Mage gets. It gets access to the full, however amount of your graveyard there is.
Mhm.
And, it will answer certain situations that you normally wouldn't be able to answer because those cards are in your bin. Right? Like if you have 1-ofs or something like that.
Sure. And yeah, it looks like the sort of digging has paid off a little bit here, as we're able to find another Gurmag. He'll be able to delve.
Exactly. This is exactly what I meant. I think like this is a line that not only is more conservative but wins more of the time, I think, than like a Snapcaster return a card to your hand. Like,
Yeah.
it's still fine, but
And also, Jesus was able to set up at least his next draw here.
Yep.
Um,
true. And,
with-
and we're rumbling in. There's a Snapcaster Mage. Oh, are we gonna get Bolt Block?
It looks that way.
Yeah. Hey. All right. Bolt Block's fine, I think. There's also
So, in response, are you going to fire off your K command before blocks?
well, I think he's gonna let him. Oh, I guess not. Okay.
Just gonna let it go.
So I think I would still let blocks happen. I think because then you commit the, you're committing like the Snapcaster Mage, and then like maybe he does it mid combat, and you could get him with the K command. But yeah, I think that this also works out.
Wow.
Wait,
what?
what?
Why does?
Wait, what is happening here?
I don't know.
What did the Snapcaster Mage do?
The Snapcaster Mage got Brainstorm. I'm really confused by Jesus's
Wait a
lines
second.
in this
What is
game.
happening? Yeah, that was a strange line, huh?
I mean, you can say I don't know how to Snapcaster Mage all you want.
Yeah,
but
that did not look like that looked like something else completely, huh?
At that point, he could have killed the Delver and returned the Gurmag to his hand, and that seems pretty good.
That seems very good. Yeah, I agree. And I mean, Jesus has tons of mana here, so he can double triple spell if he finds them. Does not look like it. And actually, this reversed pretty quickly. Jesus has nothing now.
Yeah.
I'm mighty confused. And Noah finds a Bolt, has a Daze, so like Daze is probably the worst card at the moment, but he has access to different plays, right? Like, whereas Jesus is just drawing lands, and we're
Jesus-
gonna get a him
Gonna him, and that's gonna fire this bolt.
for sure. I think it's gonna hit the Snapcaster Mage. I feel I would have liked attacks first, but it's fine. Oh, is Jesus at 12? I believe so. Oh yeah, I believe so.
And so Jesus is, again, just working on nothing. He could have removed this Delver and had a Gurmag Angler in play by now.
Yeah, agreed. And he's gonna have to have some sick top decks here because he's gone through a bunch of his deck. Is that a K command?
I didn't see.
No, is it Jace? Also acceptable.
Sure.
Does this resolve?
If it does, we're going to tick down on this Delver, I'd imagine.
100%. Noah may have like a brainstorm of some nature. I mean, so that's the thing about the
Of
Delver
some
decks
nature.
is that like
Some kind of brainstorm.
yeah, some kind of brainstorm.
knows?
It could be like a bold brainstorm. It could be a timid brainstorm.
Yeah,
Who knows,
or
man?
Jace Spellbook brainstorm.
Yeah. Sure. So we're gonna tick down. And Snapcaster gets in. So Castaneda. Oh wow, Jesus is at 4. What? I must have missed a lot of. Must have missed a ton of Delver beats, man.
Yeah, and we could have easily saw, Jesus save 6 or 9 life.
Yeah, easily.
If he had done the.
There's a Pyroblast, and a Fatal Push. So he's well set up. I think I would.
All right.
I'm definitely interested in a Fatal Push here, and then we save the Pyroblast. Oh, I was gonna say, all right, cool. Well, yeah, it knows like I've got nothing else. We can move this on because
Interesting.
it's fine. Like if Noah can. Noah can fight through, not fight through, but he can continue to play obviously. But like,
I
back to-
think I would have.
Jesus backed his Snapcaster up with a Jace. I mean, it's really difficult to answer that card.
Yeah, but Noah like with Jesus at 4, Noah has the out to like just drawing bolt.
True.
Like,
Bolt or
any
like,
any number of his bolts or Snapcaster or whatever.
yeah, Bolt,
like
Bolt, True
Snapcaster
Nemesis. Yeah,
It's probably a little less live if there's a Pyroblast across the way, but you definitely have a couple more turns to draw.
yeah.
I think in that game.
I'm so I don't know if I'm like a firm student of this, but like if Jace activates twice, it's very rare that you're going to dig yourself out. Like your opponent has to draw extremely poorly off of his Jaces because you're seeing like 8 cards in that cycle of like brainstorm, and then your 2 draw steps. Like it's just it's insurmountable in a lot of matchups, and I think this in particular is one of them. Once you're behind as the Delver deck, it's so difficult to dig yourself out of it.
Yeah, but I mean, in this particular situation,
Yeah.
like we said, Jesus
Agreed.
is at
Yeah.
4.
Agreed. Yeah.
You have direct damage in your deck.
Mhm.
Jesus doesn't really have anything that interacts with your bolts.
Yeah. He probably boarded out his forces, right? So. In game 2, we saw that he didn't, right? He kept a force to protect a
Right, but then you're
Gurmag.
still live to 2 bolts.
Yeah, exactly. You're live to 2 bolts, period, right? Yeah, with
Yeah.
a force on the stack, sure. And then and not even that. I mean, how at that point it would have been really difficult for Jesus to even pay the alternate cost on that card anyway, right? So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're still live to 2 bolts. Like if he has to pitch a card to force a will, like he goes to 3,
Mhm.
etc., etc.
etc. Well, Jesus wraps it up slides into 4-0 in this tournament. It's a pretty good place to be.
Yeah, so he'll probably be locked for top 8 with a double draw.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, thank you so much, guys, for joining us. The timer that you're seeing right now is the round timer. So we're going to actually cut to a commercial break here and let you guys wait it out in the wings. Thank you so much for joining us again. Chris and Josh are going to be commentating the majority of the Swiss, probably all of the Swiss, obviously. But then please join us for round 5. Some number of rounds.
Who knows? Who knows?
I have zero idea. Do
It's a
you?
mystery.
It's a mystery to me as well. Well, thank you guys again, and we will be back shortly.
All right.